Welcome to our dessert tour of the United States. I am making the state dessert for all 50 states in America in this awesome series, and you guys are absolutely going to love it. My name is AJ. I've been doing YouTube for about 7 years on and off. Social media is my full-time job, but this is the one channel I just never got off the ground. So my goal this year is to finally grow this channel, get it monetized, get the ball rolling with that. So that being said, it is so important that you guys hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification. Now, before we get going with our first state, I will preface we are not going in alphabetical order because I want to keep you guys on your toes so you don't know which state is coming next. That being said, there are a lot of states that don't have a particular state dessert. I did a lot of research before going into this series and planning the recipes for it. So if the state dessert I make for your state isn't what you think it is, let me know in the comments. If you want me to make something else, let me know in the comments. I'm always up to try something new because that's fun. And if I have not yet done your state, let me know where you live below. Not your address, I'm not a creep. But let me know the state you live in and what your state dessert is, or what an iconic dessert from your state is, and who knows, maybe it will end up in the series. And one more preface, not all of these recipes are my own. So I did a lot of research to find good recipes for each state. Some of these I do have my own variations of that I will be using. Others, if they are not my recipe, I will absolutely credit where the recipe came from. I'm not about stealing recipes from people. And whatever recipe is not mine will be linked in the description so you can make it at home if you want to. So what is our first state to kick off the series? Drum roll, please. It is Arizona. Now, apparently, the iconic dessert from Arizona is Sopapilla, which is a pillowy, soft, deep-fried dough that is seen as a southwestern staple. These can be sweet or savory, and in this version, we'll be dusting them with some powdered sugar, because that's how I love them. And sopapillas are a relic of Spanish influence in the Americas, and they are also very closely related to the Navajo fry bread, which is also common in Arizona. So let's make this recipe, folks. This dough gets all-purpose flour, about 2 cups of it, and then we add in a tablespoon of granulated sugar, a tablespoon of baking powder, and a couple teaspoons of salt. You want to whisk together your dry ingredients, and then the only wet that goes in here is 3/4 of a cup of whole milk and a tablespoon of honey. Just use a spatula to stir it together until the dough comes together. Now, it will be a very sticky dough, but don't worry, we're gonna cover this with plastic and let it sit at room temperature for 20 minutes, and you'll notice afterwards it becomes much less sticky. So after that 20 minutes is up, you wanna lightly flour your surface, get a rolling pin, and I am gonna flour the top of the dough because it's still just slightly tacky. We wanna make sure this is a nice, easy experience for all of us. And you wanna roll this dough out until it's about 1/8 of an inch thick. Now, the thing with these is that the thickness of the dough does matter because it will affect how they puff up once we start frying them. And yes, we are frying them. That is not a step you can skip with this recipe. I'm so sorry, but it's really worth it. So once the dough is 1/8 of an inch thick, we're gonna cut it into 4 by 3 inch rectangles. Now, this does not have to be exact. I'm OCD. This is what the recipe says. I'm just following it because I'm like, yay, shapes. So after you've cut your rectangles of dough, you wanna make sure you've had some oil preheating in a large skillet or pot, about 3 inches worth of oil, to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. This is something you want to start before you start rolling out the dough so your oil has had enough time to heat up. If not, it's no big deal. Just roll the dough, cover it with plastic so it doesn't dry out while your oil heats up. We're gonna fry these about 3 at a time, and these really only need like 60 to 90 seconds, so don't walk away from this. Give them about 30 seconds in the fryer, flip them, and then give them another 30 to 40 seconds, and then use a strainer to move them to a kitchen towel or some paper towels to let them drain. And then these are something that are best enjoyed fresh and warm or hot from the fryer. Just be careful to not burn yourself because I've done that too many times. I just have no patience. You can serve these dusted with powdered sugar or drizzled with honey. That is totally your choice. You want to dip them in chocolate, you want to eat them as is, and they are so good. The texture is incredible, the dough is amazing. Absolutely delicious. So there we have it with sopapillas from Arizona. Now, I gotta be honest, I love stuff like this. It's fried dough, it's so simple, but it's so blissful. There's just nothing not to love about that. Now, this is not my recipe, so the link for this is in the description. Again, I will be releasing all of the next states, not in alphabetical order, to keep you on your toes. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and that notification bell so you can see the rest of the videos in this 50 video series where I make the state desserts for all 50 states in America. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys with the next state.